Hey everyone. I'm going to be changing things up a little bit today and focusing on one particular issue that hits very close to home for me, and that is interstitial cystitis. Uh, I haven't been hanging out much in the IC group since I healed my IC back in 2017, but a client mentioned that my advice could really be helpful in one of the groups in particular. So I popped in, and oh my goodness, what I saw there broke my heart. First of all, just the sheer number of new people in the last 7 years was staggering to me. One group was over 16,000, and another was 30,000. So I did pop into these groups, and again, I might cry, so please bear with me. But all I see in, especially one in particular, was suffering. Just day to day chronic suffering. People talking about what to do when they're in an extreme flare, and what foods they can eat and not eat. And like I said, I've been away from that mindset for a very long time. But the fear and suffering in this support group brought me right back to the fear and the panic that I remember so well back in 2015 and 2016, and how I didn't know what to do. And doctors and specialists really gave me zero hope. And naturopaths were making me worse, just my own experience. And I remember not knowing who to turn to and feeling so alone in all of it. So I was just trying to give some helpful advice, and all of my comments kept getting declined. Not in all the groups, but this one. Uh, you guys, I could not use the word healing in that group. I couldn't say microgen, which is one of the tests that we use to detect embedded infection, and one of the big ways that we ultimately help people heal. I couldn't even use the term embedded infection. It's unbelievable. I'm sure they'll kick me out soon because I'm pushing that envelope. But regardless, the reason I'm here today posting this public video on my own profile is because I see that some of you are in great need of the information I have to offer. I've also just started a brand new group, which is clearly sorely needed. And if you'd like to join, it's called Interstitial Cystitis Root Cause Healing. But before you join, please, I want to make it clear that my practice is full. I have a waiting list that I draw from. I do not skip that list. So please don't come here thinking that I can work with you at this moment. I cannot. I would love to be able to work with everybody, but I'm full right now. But what I can provide is as much free info about my program as I possibly can without seeing your test results, which is very important, the testing. So the other thing I can do is vet and personally improve any other of the practitioners who want to join in. And I don't know, some of them may still be taking on clients. So I can help you connect with practitioners who understand the root cause of interstitial cystitis healing. And they will know what they're doing. I won't allow anyone in my group who's talking about stuff that is going to hurt you. So the number one goal in my practice and anyone that I bring in is to do no harm. So there won't be any raw vegan, there won't be any high dose B12 or anything like that, which is just going to make it worse. Okay, so the rest of the video is I'm going to talk about the 5 most frequent questions that I hear people ask about their interstitial cystitis in these groups, in my client load. It might be more than 5 because I'm sure that I'll think of more along the way. But I'll be giving the answers to those from a whole body root cause perspective. Hey everyone, thanks so much for sticking around. I want to first introduce myself. My name is Michelle. I'm an integrative healing practitioner and author of the Perception Connection Method, and my mission is to help people transform the way they experience the world through functional lab testing, whole food diet swaps, natural supplements, and mindset shifts. And I want to make it clear that I am not a doctor, thank goodness, and any information that I share with you today is my opinion. It is for educational purposes only, and you should always discuss any changes to your diet, supplements, or lifestyle with your healthcare team prior to making any changes. Okay, so today we are looking at interstitial cystitis. And I have another really long video about what IC is. I'm not going to go through that today because this video is for those of you who are currently suffering with IC, and you don't need to hear me go into a whole lot of details about that. You know what it is. So let's just jump right in. And here are the 5 most common questions I get asked about IC. So number 1, I got to put my glasses on for this. Sorry, guys. Number one is, did you have interstitial cystitis and how did you heal it? So yes, I did have interstitial cystitis. I have a video about that I posted on my YouTube channel, and I can link it if anyone wants to see that. But it was bad. My life was really a challenge through that time. And yeah, so how did I heal it? Well, it wasn't easy to find that person who helped me. I went through doctors and so-called specialists. I went to a ton of naturopaths, so many, and I was disappointed every time. They were just trying to treat the symptoms. And as you probably know by now, we don't heal IC by chasing symptoms. We get to the root cause. And what was worse with running from doctor to naturopath was my health got worse with each one I saw. So I found my integrative healing practitioner, and I was so skeptical because I was jaded. And I had already spent a ton of money. I did not want to spend any more money. I was completely tapped. But ultimately, that was the path that worked for me. And I've been free of IC for 6 or more years now. So that's what happened with me. So number 2, what are oxalates and why are they important to healing IC? I'm always shocked at how this information has been around for so long and no one really seems to know about it. But oxalates are those little crystalline particles that are found in most plant matter in some form or another. If you're familiar with kidney stones, these are caused by oxalates. They also cause joint pain, brain fog. They can really do a lot of damage. So I said they come from plants, and there are some that are especially high that we really should be avoiding those altogether. And interestingly, these are the foods that most people consider to be superfoods, like spinach and beets, sweet potatoes and potatoes, black tea, nuts, oh my gosh, almonds. So this is a side note. But if you're ever wondering why there's this huge influx of IC cases lately, well, let's just look at these gluten-free diets. What are so many people replacing their flour with? Well, almond flour. And this is anecdotal because no one is studying this stuff. But here we are with these huge increases in dietary oxalates and a huge increase in IC sufferers and fibro and brain fog. So I don't think that it's a spurious correlation, but of course it's just an observation. So these ultra high oxalate foods are the ones that we generally limit or try to avoid altogether if possible. When I first started working on the program, the first thing that I look with my clients is diet. And specifically at if they're on some kind of an elimination diet, because those are really hard on the body. And if I start working with a client, what we do is we slowly move over to whole foods. And in that, we start to reduce oxalates. And then we add in some raw dairy, which is actual superfood, which binds to the oxalates. And we do this very slowly so that we don't get a big oxalate dump, which can be super painful. So slow is always the best, in my opinion. Okay, so number 3, what is a Dutch test and why do I need it? This is another one that always really shocks me when I go into one of these groups and nobody knows what a Dutch test is, because we've known about it for so long and it offers a goldmine of information, but here we are. So a Dutch test is a urine test that we take a sample, it's 5 times in a 24-hour period, and it gives us a complete picture of what's going on with your hormones, because hormones, especially sex hormones, estrogen, progesterone, they're so closely tied to IC issues that we really do need to see what's going on here. And we want to see not just the levels, but also the metabolites. So we need to see how these hormones are moving through our system and how they're being eliminated. All of that is really important to our overall health. The Dutch also gives us a complete picture of what's going on with our cortisol. And again, very important to overall health. And I should really mention this. We're looking at whole body healing in my program. We're not looking at symptomatic healing. That's what doctors and Western medicine focuses on, Band-Aid solutions. In my practice and in root cause healing in general, we look at the body as a whole. All the systems are interconnected. And in order to improve one, specifically right now the bladder, which is the last line of elimination, we have to improve all of the interconnected parts. So if our cortisol levels are suboptimal, well, we have to look at how we're going to fix that, because healing symptoms is just a Band-Aid. We've all tried that. It's like when we just want to lose weight off our thighs. Well, we can't spot reduce and we can't spot heal. If we want to be free of this, we have to heal all of the things that led up to it. And ultimately, what we're doing is we're heading into a battle. Our last big push is going to be gut work. And most of the time, the root cause is going to be in your gut. But our bodies have to be balanced first, and they have to be rebuilt so that we can have the tools we need to fight that fight. And it's not an easy one. But if we want to be successful at it, then we have to be prepared. And this leads me into one of the other questions, I think. Let me see. Yep. Okay. So the question is, I've done gut work and detoxes and they've never worked for me before. So why is this different? Okay, I hear this a lot. A lot of people say, I did a cleanse or I did a detox and it didn't help me. So why is that? But that's exactly my point. Your body isn't ready. And please pay attention to this because it's really important. If your body is not ready to release these toxins, then it will not release them. And that is not working against you. It is doing you a favor. You do not want these toxins released if your bile isn't flowing well, if your cortisol is messed up and you're already close to adrenal fatigue. If your detox pathways are all blocked up and there's no path for elimination, your body is going to fight for you because you don't know what you don't know. You do not know how much damage you could potentially be doing by releasing these gut bugs before your body is ready. And I'm not saying that to instill fear. Pretty much anything is fixable, even after most of the silly things that we do to try to force our body to feel better. But why would you want to stress yourself out like that? So when we're talking about whole body healing, we rebuild and rebalance first. Very important. And then we use the proper biofilm buster and we do it the right way so that it will finally work and we can actually get to that root cause. Okay, so the next question, I don't want this to run too long. Here's a fun one. Why is healing the root cause so expensive? I hear this a lot. I don't mean to laugh because it's not funny. We actually should be able to rely on our medical system to help us out here, right? Why can we not? And that's a whole nother video all in and of itself. But the fact is that when we go the natural healing route, it is not covered and it can be expensive. But when we look at that, so is a 7-day vacation in the Caribbean. So is buying a brand new car or putting your child in hockey. We make choices about how to spend our money, and some things are just an investment. And the reality is, this is some tough love coming through because I know that when you're suffering and feel like you have no hope, all you want is an escape and to feel better for a few minutes or a few days. But the thing is, if you're not willing to give up a week or two of vacation this year so that you can fully enjoy that vacation in amazing health next year and the next year and the year after that, then this method of healing probably isn't for you, or at least you're probably not ready for it right now. I do charge a fee to work with me. Of course I do, because this is my job and I get results and I invest a ton of time into your health. I provide unlimited text and email support that you just can't get from other practitioners. And then you have the test analyses and coaching. So my fee is part of the package. And then there's a fee for tests. There are 5 tests to be specific. And then we also retest those after we've had the balancing on board. And there are a lot of supplements that you have to invest in. So I don't personally sell supplements. I only advise which ones I would buy and what to look for. And then you're free to go choose your own wherever you want to buy from. But there is a significant cost associated with this type of healing and root cause healing in general. And again, I'm going to be really honest. I want you to know this up front because I want to spend my time with people who are committed to doing what it takes to heal their bodies at the root cause. And also, once again, I want to stress that I am filled to the brim with clients. So I'm not trying to sell you on working with me, but I am trying to sell you on the idea of this because I don't want to see you continue to suffer. And this is one of the best ways that I know that you're going to be able to see what's going to happen with people who aren't ready. They're going to spend that money anyway. It's just, bit by bit. It's trying this and that, faith healers and pre-leaf and gimmicks and more aloe vera. That stuff is wicked expensive. And you're spending it regardless in little bits rather than investing it all at once and doing it right the first time. Interestingly, most of my clients who end up coming to me do it as a last-ditch effort after they've tried everything else. Because this way works, but they need to try everything first to see if they can get that magic bullet without having to make big changes to their lifestyle and invest a lot of money up front. And I get that. I did the exact same thing, and you might do that too, and it's perfectly okay. But this group will be here for you when you're ready, and you should probably jump on the waiting list just in case you're interested in the future. Okay, so the next question. I don't know, is that 5 already? I've heard that mycoplasma and ureaplasma, mold, Lyme, candida, E. coli, etc., are the root cause of my IC, and how do I get rid of this? Okay, there's a lot to unpack there. Yes, any one of those things could be one of the root causes of your IC. So here's the problem that we find when we focus on these. One, there's more than one root cause. Almost always, we're going to see a combination of suboptimal health, and we see that in your blood work and your hormones and your thyroid and your detox pathways. So once we add one of those things that you're asking about, what that does is push us over the edge. But if it wasn't one of those things, then it would have been something else. So we call it a body bank account. And what happens with our body bank account is that we are born with a certain level of money in our bank account. Some of us more, some of us less. And what we do as we ingest poor food and come in contact with toxins and all of those things that we do to harm our bodies as we go through life, our body bank account depletes. And so as soon as we add in that one thing that pushes us below the level of having money in our bank account, then that's when we start seeing symptoms of dysfunction. And that's when we start seeing things like IC and other autoimmune. And so even if it is Lyme that pushes you over the edge, it's not necessarily Lyme that was the cause of all of this dysfunction. It's just Lyme was the one that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Because most of us are hanging onto the edge by our toenails. Does that make sense? It's not like we're walking along perfectly healthy and then bam, we get hit with a bit of mold in the dryer vent and all of a sudden we have IC. That's just not how it works. So if you're asking this question, what I'd like you to do right now is to take a deep breath. Right now, I'd like you to please take a deep breath and stop panicking about mold and Lyme, and stop panicking about eating a tiny bit of fruit because it's going to flare your candida. Please don't do that to yourself. You are stressing yourself out, and I see this every day in the groups, and I see it with my clients when they first come to me, and we cannot heal in states of stress. We're going to deal with all of these things, but you know what the funny thing is by the time you've rebalanced your body, often you won't have to deal with them anyway because your body comes back in balance. And most of those issues, like candida, well, your healthy body takes care of those for you. So we're not going to stress about candida diets and all of the mold and all of those things until much later. We're just going to breathe and know that we've got this. And once we start on a path of whole body healing, we can rest in the knowledge that someone's got this for you, and you can stop researching and panic scrolling and looking for the next thing, because we're going to hit on all of the things. Okay, so those are the top 5. I don't know, maybe there's more than 5. There are way more. If you have a question of your own, please feel free to drop into our group. Again, it is, I just started it today, so I don't remember the name of it, Interstitial Cystitis, Healing Root Causes Naturally, or Root Cause Healing Naturally, or something like that. If you know someone who's still struggling with interstitial cystitis, I ask that you please forward this video to them, or forward the group to them, have them come in. We're in there and we're happy to answer questions. And this post is public for exactly that reason. In this day and age, there is no reason that we should still be suffering with this much bladder pain. We know how to take care of it. If we can't, I'm not saying that, root cause healing is going to eliminate all of your bladder dysfunction and restore your bladder to what we had when we were born, because we've done a lot of damage. We've done installations. We've done a lot of chemicals that we're trying to just to get us through the day, right? We've done a lot of prescription medication. We've done a lot of antibiotics. Your bladder lining is raw, and we're going to do the best we can to naturally soothe that. That's what we'll talk about in the group. But we're also going to talk about the things that we have to do in order to get the bladder as healed as it can possibly be. Again, I'm not taking on new clients, but if you don't have someone who knows how to do this and can guide you through this process, please reach out in the group. And there is someone who is in there, one of my colleagues, who knows how to do exactly what I do. I appreciate you being here today. I know this went really long, but you're investing in your health, and I really hope you'll join us in the group, or tune into my YouTube channel. And I hope that I see you again soon, and I wish you all the best in your health.